Watch Mr. Wizard. That's what all the kids in the neighborhood call it, because it shows them the bad day living.
Mr. Wizard?
Oh, hi, Chuck. Come on in.
What's going on?
You see that strange contraption on my wrist?
Yes.
Well, that proves I'm alive.
What do you mean?
See, that proves that I'm alive, doesn't it?
Yeah,
One
sure.
of
Your
them.
heart must be beating.
Have you ever seen a real heart?
A real one? No.
Ever handled, been able to examine one?
No, I've seen them in pictures.
Yeah, well, today you're going to examine a real heart. It's over there in the refrigerator, all waiting for you. And how about, have you ever seen real blood circulating through real blood vessels?
No.
Well, we're going to see that today, too.
Oh, boy.
Okay, are you ready?
I guess so.
Well, today we're going to sort of take the attitude of, I am at least going to take the attitude of people a long time ago. They knew that there was blood inside of people because obviously they had wars and people had cut themselves and out came blood. But could you prove it right now? They just thought that there was blood and they didn't know a lot like what we know today. Could you prove that there was blood inside of you without actually cutting yourself? Obviously.
Well, my heart is beating and...
Well, now, wait a minute, so that's just something thumping inside of you. That has nothing to do with blood, maybe. How could you prove to somebody that there was blood inside of you without cutting yourself?
Well, inside? Well,
Do you blush?
I'm kind of...
For the skin, perhaps, yes. Do you blush sometimes? You can turn white sometimes?
Yeah.
But maybe the easiest way is right with your fingernails. Here. If you put your fingernail, give me your fingernail. If you put your fingernails down like this and you push on them, they turn white, don't they? Then when you let go,
they get back red again.
they get back red again. Now, why is that?
Well, I guess when it's forcing the blood away.
All right.
When you release the pressure, it's flowing back.
Well, it's coming back. So your fingernails are ordinarily quite pink in color, but you push the blood away, they become white. So you try that. That's an easy way to prove it, as though you needed it, because most people have cut themselves. Well, now, all right, so I'll say there's blood inside of you, but that's just watery stuff filling up the spaces between the muscles and stuff. You say, what, that it moves around?
Sure it moves around.
Well, how do you know?
Well, like your pulse.
Your pulse?
I mean, the heart is pumping.
So that
around.
just means that there's something going thump, thump, thump there, but it doesn't necessarily say the same thing that's going thump, thump there is the same thing that's in here going. How would you prove? Well, let's take the pulse, for instance. How do you take your pulse? Show me. What do you do?
Well, I know the doctor places like his hand around there.
Well, he may place it across this way. The point is, there are arteries and veins in your hand here, and one of the arteries that it comes fairly close to the surface, right in here, in the bones in your wrist. Mine, I find right there. Put your finger right there. You feel it?
I feel it. Thump.
Now, you're not supposed to use your thumb, so don't do it with your thumb, because there's an artery in your thumb that could interfere, they think. So you put your fingers on there. Now, in order for both of us to hear it, I have this metronome here, which you can vary the time by moving this dial back and forth. So with the hand that you're taking the pulse, you move this metronome until it coincides with your thumb there in your wrist, and then I'll be able to hear how fast it goes, and we'll be able to read it right off here. Let it stand step for a while so that you see if you can establish the right rhythm.
I think I have it now.
Okay, now you can read here what it says.
80.
Okay, that means this 80 beats in a minute. This is for music students, and they would have 80 beats a minute for, playing a piano at a certain speed. So now we have 80 beats a minute. Now, let's have you exercise. And the doctor has you do this sometimes. One of the methods is to get a chair up here. You put one foot up and then down, back and forth, and exercise.
I've done this before.
Okay, do this fast as you can 10 times, and then we'll check your pulse again.
Okay.
Go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more quick. 10. Now, try it. Quick, get your pulse before it calms down. Like that?
This is pretty close to it.
Yeah, what does that say?
About 110, maybe?
Yeah, see?
From 80 to 30.
Yeah, so it beats, it's speeded up considerably. Well, now, doesn't this prove that your blood must circulate? Did you exercise your arms particularly?
No, it's my legs.
Well, what has the exercising your legs got to do with the pulse in your wrists?
Well, my exercise is making my heart beat faster, and it's making the blood.
They must be connected somehow.
Yeah.
The stuff that's inside your legs and the stuff that's inside here. Well, that's one way, of course, of proving that your blood circulates around. Okay. Well, now, maybe you don't have a metronome at home. How else can two people look at pulse at the same time? You could call it or something.
That would be a little makeshift.
Here's kind of a way that's fun. You get a soda straw, you cut it in half, and pinch the end of it so that you can put it into a nut, a nut and bolt kind of thing. If you now put that on your wrist where the pulse is, and just get it off center enough,
It was shaking a little.
Yeah, but that's me shaking, not my pulse. You have to move it around because you... Yeah.
Steady. You almost have it. I think I can see what you're trying to get at, though. That as the pulse moves just this little bit, it's going to make the straw move. Pump, pump.
That's moving just a little bit, yeah. Now I've got the spot here, you can move it over a little more.
Yeah, now you can really see it.
So you get the point is that this is a long lever, and if you get the end of the nut to move over here, why, you're going to magnify it here. You try it. Well, you're alive, I can tell, because it keeps moving around. But
yeah,
I don't think it's because
I know. I think it's my arm more than that.
Well, anyway, you get the idea of that. That once you get it working, it works quite well. Another method that is even more sensitive than this, if you have all the equipment, was the thing that I was using when you came in. Now, what this is a little plastic tube filled with water, so your rubber diaphragm on the bottom held in place with the rubber band, and a one-hole stopper stuck into it. When you push down like this, some of the water comes out. Yeah. Previously, you can put some little drops of water throughout it, so that all the pressure that you apply down here to the diaphragm
you can see it moving.
Is transferred to the liquid, and the liquid doesn't compress, does it?
No, they don't have to go up.
They don't have to go up, so that you magnify the movement then here. Now, I'll push on the bottom. You watch. You see, just the slightest little
there
push.
There it goes, yeah.
Really?
It's quite sensitive.
Okay, now, if you can get that...
Yeah, now this you can really see.
This is quite sensitive compared to the... Okay, now, you want to test it and see if you can do that?
Okay, I'll give it a try.
Now, try not to wiggle it.
That's it. Boom, boom, boom.
Now, here. Yeah, you got it now. Very good. Now try the one on your neck. Here.
My neck?
Right in here, there's one on your neck. If you can hold it up here like this, and I'll try it. You see, do you see any movement?
Yeah, looks like where I got the most.
Now wait, see if you see any movement. Moving?
Very little.
Well, wait, move it around. It should be good.
I don't think you have it. Probably pretty hard to tell yourself.
Oh, wait, let me get my... You feel it first. Ah, there it is. Now.
Yes, that's even better than the
Here, let me see if I can find on you. And all you do is you just look out there and see if the... Oh, boy, are you alive? It's real. You see it?
Yeah. It really moves quite a bit.
It also moves when you talk, proving you're also alive, yeah.
Up and kick.
Well, and you can see your pulse at home. And doctors, of course, have many ways of checking pulse. Besides just the blood pressure machine, which, of course, runs on pulse and so forth. Well, what is it that's making that pulsing now?
The human heart in school.
Oh, well, then you should know something about it. Yeah. Well, what is the human heart? What does it do? Tell me. Start from where the blood goes in. What?
Well, basically, it has 4 chambers.
Okay, wait.
Oh, boy, that was handy.
There. Now, there is a little of the heart. Does it look like the Valentine hearts that everybody talks about? It's a different kind of heart entirely. But it does have sort of the general shape, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay, and it's divided, you said, into what?
4 chambers.
4 chambers, but really basically in half. Two different
half, 2
types.
on each side.
Okay, well, let's start down here.
Okay.
What's that?
This is from the organs. It's already the oxygen
also
being
from the
taken
top,
out.
yeah.
From the top here. And then it goes first arcle. Here.
That's right.
Then, let's open up. Then it goes through this tube.
There's a valve
here,
right
there,
yes.
Into the right ventricle.
Okay. Now notice those strings over there. And that's part of the valve, yeah.
Now, the ventricle...
By the way, wait. Notice the thickness of this side of the heart? Notice the side of the wall there? Okay, just remember that.
Okay. And now the right ventricle pumps it up through here into the into the lungs.
Pulmonary artery going up here up to the lungs. Yes.
Into the lungs.
Okay. Now what
Then
happens?
close up this side. Come around here. Then it comes back down from the lungs now.
Not
through
through there,
here,
that's
through
right.
here, and it's already been oxygenated, so
Mhm.
now it's the red again, and it goes into the. This would be the left auricle.
See the valve?
Oh, here's the valve again on
Mhm.
this side. And it goes from the left auricle into the left ventricle,
Mhm.
which now does the biggest pumping.
See the size of that, the surface of the heart?
Oh,
the
now
muscle?
I see why you wanted me to
Yeah,
notice.
it's how thick it is.
Yeah.
Then what?
Then it's, see if I can see. Oh yeah, then it's pumped up into the through here
Right.
into the aorta,
Right.
which is the main one. It goes up to the head
To the various
and
parts of the
down
body.
to
from
the
there.
body.
Okay, well, very, very good indeed.
Thank
Now,
you.
keep those valves in mind because I have sort of a plastic bottled version of the valves. Let's see how they work. See that pan of water over there?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go look at them. Now, to understand how the valves kind of work is one way. I have put two plastic bottles together. See, here's one.
Took the bottom out.
Yeah, with no bottom in it. And here's the top of that plastic bottle. And I have drilled a hole in it, see? See, there's a hole in there so that this little marble, actually it's a plastic ball, will fit in there and cover up that hole. Now I'll put the top onto the bottom of the bottle. And that is one half. Now here's another plastic bottle. This time the bottom is in, but I have a hole here, see it?
Mm-hmm. Little square cut out.
And here is another hole in the top of this one, and another little plastic ball that fits in there like that. Now we have a little ball in the bottom of each one of them.
Now what?
Well, now I put them together, and I have adhesive tape around here so that fill up the space, that between the two. Now right down there I have some extra pieces. You want to pull off one of those, and we'll put it around there and tape the two bottles together. Okay. Now we have half a heart.
Oh, I see.
What's this?
This would be the ventricle.
The ventricle.
This is the auricle.
Auricle, the smaller part here. Now, if I put this in water here, and this is our supply of blood, this little valve down here will allow water, or first air, to go which direction?
Well, you'll
I'm going to squeeze it.
this
Yeah,
together.
squeeze
Well,
it like
then
that.
you're trying to force the. Oh, I see, but it can't go out because there's a ball there, so it has to go up.
It has to go up. Now, in this case, when I let go, theoretically, this ball up here should be solid enough to not allow any air to go back, but it isn't because some air leaks through. So I'm going to put my finger over to get it started, and you watch what happens.
Oh, so you're sucking the water in.
I'm sucking the water up now. See that?
Oh.
Now, this valve down here works like some of the valves that are in the vein to keep the blood from going backwards. But this valve right up here is the valve that's in the heart. So you describe what happens now when this
I
part
see what happens.
beats
Now, this is the beating, and it sends the blood up. This would be going out into the lungs.
Yeah, now when it
the thing
relaxes...
is, when it relaxes, instead of letting all the blood flow down again, that, like in this case, the little plastic ball covers the hole, so the blood has to stay up
Right.
here.
Now, in the next pump, more blood.
And that this is going out into the aorta, into
Right.
the body, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it never allows all the blood to flow back down again into the ventricle.
Right. So you get the idea of how the blood only moves in one direction through
So
the
that's
heart.
why it'll keep on going.
By,
That's why
having-
so it can relax without losing.
And no blood is lost. Okay. Now, so when you hear a heartbeat, the doctors often describe it as lub-dub. Lub-dub. This is the lub, the squeezing of the valves, the squeezing of the muscle itself, and the dub is the valve closing.
Yeah.
Now, in this case, it's a rattling sound.
Love, rattle, rattle,
Yeah,
rattle.
rattle, rattle, rattle. But now let's actually hear that. Have you ever heard a heartbeat?
I haven't. I know the doctors.
Well, here you can sort of hear your own. Here's a stethoscope.
This thing?
Yes, it's a funnel on the end of a rubber tube. Here, put it up over your heart. Where is your heart, by the way?
Well, it's out here.
Right under that car?
Yeah, right under the
Well,
car.
right about where that crosspiece is. In other words, it's just to the right of the center of your body and down a little lower than most people think, right about in there.
Mm-hmm.
So put the funnel there and put the other end in your ear and see if you can hear your own heart.
Hey, this is pretty loud. Yeah. Wait a minute, I can hear it without this thing.
Well, I turned up some heartbeats at the beginning.
Oh.
Could you really hear it, though?
Yeah, I could. It was much softer, though.
Yeah, than that. Love dub. So you're actually hearing a heartbeat. Now,
Just with this?
yeah, just with this. This is basically how a stethoscope works, only it's much more refined and it has two of them for the doctor and so forth. But now, you actually heard the heartbeat. Let's, what you're hearing now is this muscle squeezing, both of these muscles on the bottom part squeezing together, and then when it relaxes, the valve's closing. Now here, you can actually see it over here. I'll turn it up and you'll be able to hear it at the same time.
Oh, yeah, it's going across the screen, and it's going up and down. It's like the lub sends it up, and the dub is...
Well, the high peak that you see here is the muscle closing, and the lower one is the valves closing. And you see, over here is a record of the heart beating, and that's what we're listening to. And this is for doctors to train students as to what to expect when they listen to a heart.
This is a heartbeat.
It's a recording of a heartbeat, yes. Now, what you're hearing there is called the apex. Evidently at the top of the heart. I'm not real sure. But there are several recordings on here. Let's listen to the one that's near the aorta. Listen to this.
So the lub is even more prominent than the
Well,
dub.
see, this is up near the aorta, so that you're not getting quite so much of the... It's a little more rumbly, isn't it?
It isn't as clear as the other one was.
Then there's the third section on here says near the pulmonary artery up there, and listen to that near the top of the heart there.
Well, there's no, it's just one steady push.
Yeah, and look at this.
Well,
Well, it's not a one
no,
steady push, but it's sort of a rumble.
Well, yeah, it isn't one steady push, but instead of like before it was lub dub, now it's just lub dub. Lub
You see, the
dub.
doctors can find out quite a bit about your heart by listening to the sounds of it, and they've made a very thorough study and can diagnose many illnesses, and whether you have a normal heart or whatnot, from the sounds alone. Okay. Well, now, when you came in, I asked you if you had ever seen a real heart, and you said no.
Yeah.
And I said, I've got one over there in the refrigerator that you can take apart and look at. Would you get the
last
heart
time I
out?
went to that refrigerator, I got
Yeah.
a lung out.
You got a lung. Well, this time's going to be a heart. Bring it back over here and let's see what one really looks like.
What's for lunch?
What's for lunch?
What's for lunch?
Well, of course, people eat heart quite a bit. In fact, you can get one of those right at the butcher shop. This is a calf heart. And there it is.
Yeah.
Does it look something like that model?
It does, yeah. It looks very much like it.
Where do you suppose the two parts are? The dividing line.
Oh, well, you can see the dividing line.
Well, that's actually what's the matter.
Well, you know, it isn't too bad once you touch it
Once
the
you
first
touch-
time. It just
yeah.
looks kind
It
of
looks
disgusting.
kind of messy,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Well, it's
Well,
not really.
Down this line.
Well, this line is a line of, I think, the place that supplies the blood to the heart. But I think it is also a general division line. You can see this side of the heart is much bigger than this side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and on top here, actually, some of the openings are still left. And by the way, you'll notice here's a cut. That in beef heart, when the beef is slaughtered, the government insists that inspectors slit open the heart and examine it to see whether the animal is diseased or not.
I mean, if
and
it's
so
diseased, its heart will be...
heart would be
diseased,
affected.
yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why if you do get a heart from the butcher shop, and I suggest you do it because it's a lot of fun to examine it and see the very things you've been talking about, it will have a slit in there like that. Well, in order to examine the inside, by the way, notice the small part here?
What's that?
That's the top part that you've been talking about all this time.
That little thing
Yeah,
is there.
that's part of it, and here's the other part of the
You
hand.
don't realize that it's so small
Yeah,
compared to the
compared to the others.
ventricles, because the ventricles do all the hard pumping.
Well, now, let's examine it inside. Let's cut it. Would you please cut the heart about right there?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Scalpel?
Yeah, you feel like a surgeon? Surgeons do operate on the heart, don't they? And examine and repair it and sew it up and do all kinds of things with it. Now, yes, now, you see when you cut it in half, is it like what you expected inside?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it looks sort of...
Are we
yeah.
facing it the right way, first of all?
Yeah, because here's the thick wall.
Remember I
here,
told you to look for that
and
thick
the
wall?
thin wall. Now, now I really see. And the
See how
thin wall
thin
here.
it is there? That's right. Now, this side must be what, then?
This would be the... well, how am I looking at it?
Well, you
The
should
right
look at it
side.
from the standpoint of you yourself, of the
Like
person
it's
whose
in
heart
me.
it is, yes.
So this would be the right,
The right
side.
side.
This would be the left
Now,
side.
why is this side so much thicker than this?
Well, because this is the ventricle on this side does the very heavy pumping out
Right.
to the through the aorta into the body.
Right. Okay, now, here is a rod with which you can investigate some of the passageways that you've been talking about. From this one, you should find two passageways, shouldn't you? One
Yeah.
where the blood comes in and the
The
other
one
one
to the
going
lung.
out. Well, see if you can find them. Here, let me move this out of your way.
Okay. Well, first of all, where...
Why don't you start from here so that you're sure you're going to get into the right places and push it through, and it'll lock. Now, wait a minute. As you do that, look where you went.
Oh, into the... oh, I did. I found the opening into
See,
the
there's
auricle.
that oracle that you were surprised at. There. Now, move it on just a little more so that you can get it past that, and see if you can
Oh, I see.
get to the main part of the hand. Now, you...
Well, there must be an opening on the side.
There it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So I've gone through, from the ventricle through the auricle, and now...
Back up to where the blood comes in.
Right.
Okay, now I'll go the other way.
In. Now, I want to...
Want to go up to the pulmonary. You're back in the same one again.
This could be different.
There you go. Keep going. There.
Oh. Now, this is the lungs up here
All right,
now.
that's where we're going to the lungs. All right?
Okay.
Now, go to the other side and see if you can find the two passageways that, see where you come out first. Where's that one coming from? Past the auricle.
This would be coming in, I would think.
Right.
Right.
You can make some other cuts and look at it, but I'll cut it open. You'll see that there's really not. It's rather difficult to see. One of the things that I thought you might like to see those strings. You remember that are in there?
That was very lifelike.
You see there?
There
are the strings right there, and there's the valve. I just cut part of the valve in half.
It is like strings.
Like little strings.
And here's the part that looks like close. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is right there. Anyway, we can have a lot of fun investigating stuff you've heard about and which is inside of you and which is very important by just getting a heart. Now, come on, let's wash our hands off.
Yeah.
One of the next things we're going to see, remember I asked you if you'd answer? You said
Yeah.
no?
No. Now what are we going to do?
Now we're going to actually see blood circulating through real veins, but this time the veins of a gold heart, isn't it? There's
Yeah,
blood,
sure.
veins, arteries. Okay, here are our volunteers over here.
Yeah, volunteers.
And we will look at the blood circulating through their tail. In order to do that, I have a little contraption here that I can put the goldfish in here, and by wetting this thoroughly, it has plenty of water to last, for several minutes while we look at it. So let's take one of them and put him down there and spread his tail over an opening I've got there. See, so we get him in underneath this cloth so he has plenty of water.
He can breathe the water.
And he can breathe the water. And now I'll take a thumbtack and put it through just side of his
Isn't
tail.
that gonna hurt him?
Well, I don't think so. I've done this several times, and he never seems to complain, by flipping around or something, and I think he probably would if it hurt him. Now I'll spread the tail over that opening like that and put another thumbtack across on the other side to help keep it apart. And we're going to look at that space there between the two little thumbtacks. That's a thin membrane, and if we now put this under the microscope over here, I'll get it set and then I'll have you turn out the light, so you wait till I get it all ready, and then we'll take a look at what goes on in the tail of a goldfish. Okay, I'll turn this on and you go turn out the lights, okay? So you want to turn them out now?
Okay.
Now let's go down just a little bit in magnification here so we see what we're looking at. There, you see, is the tail of the goldfish. Now, I don't have too much magnification on it, but I just want you to see the structures. You see
Wait a
there?
minute. I see little things running
You
through.
do?
Little rivers. Is that the water?
Yeah, well, there. You see there's one right there?
Yeah.
That's water. That's
There's one
his blood.
coming down here. His blood?
Yeah, here, take my pencil and point to what you're talking about there.
Well, right here.
Yeah, that's right inside
one,
the
there's
thin
one,
part of his
here's
tail,
one.
and there's one up there also.
Here's a little one.
That's
running through
real blood circulating through the tail of the goldfish. Now, here, keep my pencil. I'm going up in magnification one more time, and we'll actually now magnify that section a considerable amount and be able
there
to
it comes
see.
into focus. Oh, now you really can see it.
Yeah, let me back up. Whoop, keep
Whoop.
flopping around up here.
Ha.
Hold on, fish. We'll be back in the pond there in a minute.
Oh, there. Whoa, here you go.
Now, can you see it there in the rib part down there?
Look at that. So you can really see it very
There,
well.
see?
And running
now,
through
give
here.
me the pencil a minute. I'll point to the. I'll put it in here so I'll give you an idea which side is the head. This side that you see over there, where that shadow is the head end of the goldfish. So can you tell me which are the veins and which are the arteries now?
Well, these.
Let me move it over there for you a little more.
Whoops.
There.
These would be the veins, then, And these would be the arteries
Going
running
away
this
from
way.
the head, right?
Because the
Yeah,
arteries are running down toward his tail, and this one would be a vein. It's lost its oxygen already.
Whoop, there you go.
Oh,
Drop
there you
around
go.
again.
You can-
Okay, I got to refocus. Hold it.
But
There
it,
you go. Now,
you
do
can
you
really see it.
Do you see, not in that vein section, but up above it, do you see any little tiny rivers of stuff moving around?
Here's one that's going across like
Yes,
from
well,
one
that's
to the
probably
other.
a capillary.
Look, right here.
Yeah.
You really see it?
Notice you don't see any beating. When the veins and arteries get very small like this, the beating effect is gone, you see, and it just is a steady flow.
Mm-hmm.
You see one in there?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
here's a big one there.
Well, now here, as we look at these, there's another one way up at the top there, see it?
Yeah. Oh, here's a big one.
Yeah, there's a good one there.
Yeah.
Now, as we look at these, let's kind of realize what we've seen. We now know that your heart beats because you've actually seen a real heart, you've heard a real heart, you've heard your own heart, you've taken your pulse so that you know that you can tell the effect of the heart throughout your body. The fact that you exercised your leg meant that your heart pulse increased in your wrist, and you've found out various ways of doing it. And here you're seeing actual real blood flowing through real veins.
Really amazing.
Yeah. In fact, you might even see the little tiny parts there, which are the red corpuscles.
They're
Okay.
like separated. Isn't one
Now, you want to turn on the light over there, please?
Okay.
Now, we want to be sure and put him back in the water.
Oh, yeah.
See that he's all right.
Good friend.
Good friend, the goldfish. And see if he's... There you are. Thank you very
right
much.
back.
Now, when you do this at home, you remember, get out the tubing and set it up on your wrist like this, and you'll be able to see your actual heartbeat just like that.
There it goes.